Meeting for September 19th. It's a regularly scheduled meeting. Let's start off with roll call. Nancy Lunder. Eric Larson. Here. Steve Timothy is me. I'm here. Lynn Snow. Here. Chris Squire. Here. And Dave Higgins is here. Good timing.
But it's gonna be.
Okay, let's start off with the first item on our agenda, review the minutes from our last meeting. Did anyone see anything that needed changed or added? I didn't. I read over them a few times trying to see anything. I didn't see anything. Do you have a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
We have a motion by Lynn to approve the minutes.
Second.
Second by Dave. All in favor? Aye. Okay, next item on the agenda. It was listed as 7,551 west.
My bad, apparently.
And that was what was listed on the public notice for 2 weeks. Was also 7551. Talking to a few other people and things, the consensus I've gotten is we can't hold the public hearing because the information was incorrect. Because state law says it has to be.
So question, when was it noticed and why wasn't I told? Because I could have changed it.
I noticed it when I emailed you, but that was just last Friday. And that would be too little time to catch, because I looked on the public notice website after the email to check. And so our 2 week notice was past time.
One thing to consider, there was letters sent out to all the ones that were within 300 feet of the property. So they would have, the correct people would have been noticed, if that makes a difference.
That does and doesn't, because our public notice is to give correct public information.
Understood. I just let you know that there were.
Like Nancy said, that's 7.5 miles out of town.
Can I say something? There was a map that was sent with it, so you knew exactly where the property was.
We didn't get the map until I got it this morning.
Where were you at?
Huh?
Where were you at?
You should be on the mailing list.
I didn't get the map in my email. I did not. And that's when it was Friday night, I emailed Carolyn asking for something. And I got something today showing that it was 751, not 7551.
Is a delay gonna hurt somebody? I mean,
Sure, it always hurts.
You want to go back another 2 weeks and start over?
It'd be next month is our next meeting.
What were your plans? Is there going to be something moving forward? Is the 1 month gonna create a problem? Or I would recommend that if that's the case and it's our error, that we have a meeting in 2 weeks to get this corrected.
Well, it has to be published.
It still has to be published for 2 weeks, so it's still gonna be about the time of our normally scheduled meeting on that. Because our normally scheduled meeting would be the 17th. We're on the third Wednesdays.
So let me clarify what Keith wants to do. I'll just help him a little bit, and then you can continue on. What he has proposed is changing the zone. He's in a commercial zone, and right across the street it is zone 110. So his property at Jones is a zone of 110. So changing the zone, we're not spot zoning by any means. So we're just going to be changing the zoning of his property, because what they want to do and why they approached this way is he wanted to make sure that we went with the zone change, and then that the piece of property, they want to divide it into 2 sections so that a relative can build on the other half of the lot. It's a 1 acre lot. Isn't that right, Keith?
That's right. The big lot was 1 acre and 1 divided in half.
So this is R110, this is RR1, and this is commercial currently. So they're looking to take this lot, split it in half, and build here.
Right.
The house was built
on the property prior to being put into the county, into the city limits. And so the city had come to us and requested that we change it to the,
To
city.
go into the city, but they
Instead of
never
county.
said anything about. coming.
Because see, they would never have been able to build there if it had been city at the time. The house was built and completed before the city came and said they wanted to change it, so we agreed to do that. And then this made it so that this, swallowed.
Is this across the street from your house, Bruce? Is this across the street from your house?
Correct.
Yeah.
And how do
Right
you
now,
feel
there's a
about
log
I'm
that sits on that property.
it? Oppose it.
Used to be. It's stucco house, no.
Oh, stucco, but it was originally a log barn.
And the reason used to be,
Pardon?
When I moved where I did, of course, again, it was county. If I wanted houses and neighbors all around me, I would have moved into the city. I like as much open space as I can get.
Right. And those are all good things to consider, but like I said, to me, the state law says we have to do what's on our agenda, and the posted agenda to the public notice website had the wrong address. The 2-week notice had the wrong address.
That was your error, not ours.
Right.
So we're suffering for 2 weeks' time, or a month's time,
But
because that puts us into the limits of the building, if we can get it.
it does, but state law is state law.
Yeah.
But we can't take action on something not on the agenda. We can't fill out paperwork for something at your house to do at my house.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to, with an address 7 miles off like that.
Yeah, I understand what you're talking about. I'm just sorry that it went by, because we don't know how soon we want to do something there.
Right.
The other thing,
Got a wife that's suffering from
And
Lyme's disease.
the house is
Trying to get
familiar,
out.
she can't live with it.
Right.
And so she's anxious to get moved out of it, and that was a place where there's no water that will ever be, problem of mildew.
Right.
And so that was why it shows a good place to build, because she'd be out of that.
one other item on this one, in order for them to build, there has to be multiple steps. So if the delay is a month, they still have a month delay anyway. Even if it were approved tonight, they'd still have to come back to planning and zoning to split the lot.
Right.
So even if we pushed it off to the next meeting, and if they wanted to come with a proposal for both, the problem is if it's not gonna be rezoned, there's no point in them splitting the lot, because they can't then build anyway.
Right.
So the question comes is, they can come with both together, they could have done that at this point, they split them and separated to try to find out, hey, is a rezone going to work? If it's not, then they don't waste their time coming back. So at that point, that would be the other time, they're gonna have to come back to planning and zoning anyway for the next step of the process. If you approve one, if you don't approve it, then.
show us on there what's in the county and what's in the city.
So at this point, what is highlighted there in the white shade, that is city, but what's not is county.
Okay.
I have things right now.
That whole split.
Yeah. This is the house would be there, and that's proposed there. Too small.
So.
So you guys.
Yeah.
We just put it on the document. I don't know.
Even more than you would have been.
Even though this house is
trading.
Yes.
So who owns it?
Yeah. Help us out. We can't do that. You have a house.
So do you want us to put on the agenda for the next month?
Whatever you guys need. a house on the commercial.
Right. That's already there.
That's the thing is we can look at it and reschedule and do both. The rezone and the lot split all at once. And if the rezone doesn't pass,
You already got the proposed lot split ready.
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to make sure.
But then we would not change the zone.
Yeah.
Quickly put to it.
Yeah. Right under the old.
Well, that's kind of,
All of that, all of it.
So anyway, think about it.
yeah.
We have
So the way I see state law.
They changed it.
So I think,
Not 2 years
Yep.
ago.
I think we move it.
Well, I think what's going to happen is you have gone ahead and completed the splitting of the lot, correct?
We've got,
I don't know whether he's registered or not.
He's got a proposed lot.
Yeah, so when he returns next month.
So we can combine them.
Together as the same.
Yeah. We can do all that at once on one agenda.
Right.
Two agenda items.
Right, two items in one night.
Right, but we'll bring them both back next time, so we won't be any further behind.
And that really isn't gonna delay you anything.
It probably won't delay me at all. Other than knowing whether we can do it.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah,
That comes back to whether it's approved or not approved at this point.
right.
That's the question.
Everything we can do.
But at least bringing those back together.
Yep.
Wouldn't delay it any more than we're arguing for.
Right.
And just as a matter of clarification, after we approve it, it still has to go to the city council, is that not correct?
That is correct.
Right.
So just so you know that.
And
So
so,
they meet next week.
Yeah.
So if it was approved, we would approve it, and then it would go to the city council the next week.
Or
And they have
2 weeks,
time.
depending on how it plays out. At this point, we already had city council yesterday, so it wouldn't be for until.
So it'll be the next city council after, we'll have the meeting on the 17th
So probably 2 weeks.
of October. Our next meeting, 17th of October.
we can, we can all Halloween.
So we'll just bring both issues.
So that's where we're at. So we'll go that way. So I guess we could move on to that next item on our agenda. And that was, I'll pull that up so I can read it right.
Fine,
I didn't bring mine tonight.
that's fine.
There we go. Boundary line adjustment. And Luke Wilkerson. And
I'm not Luke.
you're
But
on
I'm
behalf,
representing Luke.
you're on behalf of Luke.
Can I ask concerning that zoning change, will another letter be sent out then?
Yes, another letter will need to be sent out
With the correct address.
with everything correct on it.
I think the
I think the letter
Was the letter correct?
Just to publish that.
Just the notice and the everything else, okay. So
Yeah,
yeah,
if we're holding it at a different hearing, then we ought to send it to everyone again.
yeah. Nice to have you.
now is that south, or you talking east, south, 10, or you saw the crowd?
Right, it's,
Right, your street is 1,000, yeah, is 1,000,
it's the 7551 part was wrong. It's a 7551 on everything we got.
Are you at 800 south or 1,000 south?
he's on 1,000 south, we have not changed the address.
It's a county address.
On the other side of Highway 40, it's 800 south, but on the west side, it's 1,000.
It's still county, yes.
Still under the county one. I know that they're 2 blocks off, so I'm just checking to see if it has been redone in the city or not. So
I just thought I'd mention that, basically.
I just want to make sure that we have the right.
Get it all correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Who wants to look at it, or if you've seen it, or maybe discuss it, but proposing to adjust the boundary between this parcel with Wilkerson and
John Osborne.
John Osborne. The property owner, this shows the adjusted boundary, but this garage or shed, whatever you want to call it, was about 3/4 on Luke's property.
So what's the old
It
boundary?
used to come down here.
Used to come down, over, back up, kind of jiggy jog all over.
Can you pull that
I
up?
can probably pull that all down here.
We can kind of see.
Where does that face us?
It's,
First south.
Yeah, all right there.
Okay.
You can probably see what it was if you pull up their Google Earth or,
The GIS.
yeah.
Hang on. It's getting long. Not like I'm gonna keep it short.
You can kind of see it right there now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's taking and bringing the property line across here.
Yes, going from that point to the west to where it would intersect, Luke's line, his west line coming south.
How far are you from for example, that building, how far does it sit in the property line?
Now,
No.
The proposed, what will be the setback when it's done?
it'd be about 2 feet, which comes to, yeah, I know, it's supposed to be 3. But that lines up with the 100-foot mark, which would be your original boundaries of your lots, your blocks.
So that lines it up with the original 100 feet.
Yep.
so this building, existing building, does that change ownership with this?
No, it was built by the Chapooses or someone like that, has been used by the Chapooses, or the Chapooses are in the process or have transfer title to that Osborne. But they've been using it. Luke approached us a couple of months ago and said, something's wrong, will you come look at it? And sure enough.
So they thought the lot border was somewhere else. So
They used what was existing fences and implied those were boundary lines.
So are all of the property owners affected in agreement and have signed this?
Yes, the two parties are in agreement.
Signed.
And the properties do have the necessary amount of square footage to meet the zone.
Just the setback wasn't met.
So the
because of-
question on setback, how do you feel about that? Staff feel about setback on that garage?
It's fine.
At 2 feet?
as long as, I have a setback like that with my neighbor, his garage drips just on his side of the fence, and I had to agree to that. As long as both parties agree to that, I think we're okay, aren't we?
Yes.
I think so.
I think the intent of Luke is to build a fence across that at some time. To fence that so there's not the open. Most of it is fenced, there's just a little piece that isn't, but
So is this new line marked?
yes, sir.
You staked it?
They're just waiting on us, it sounds like.
Well, if they're all in agreement and in favor of it, I think.
Yeah, they've signed it right here, so.
I move that we approve.
So we have a motion by Lynn and a second by Eric. Do we have any other questions, concerns?
Is there any legal notice that we're required to provide where it's a deviation from our normal setback policy?
Oh, that's something you can approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Special marker here.
You got one or I got one?
Got the marker in there.
Yeah, who knows why that ever was chopped up like that.
I'd say it was an error, but pretty strange.
The original lots when it was divided back in the day went east and west, like across, for some reason somehow they got chopped north and south and they made a doozy there in the middle.
It was way before our day.
I'm sure. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm shaking it back down. You want to check with Carolyn, make sure you don't be.
In 2 weeks, right?
Well, it's on the first and third Tuesdays, so,
October 2nd.
so
Next meeting.
November.
We're in September.
It's October 2nd.
October 2nd.
Check with Carolyn.
Any other business on the agenda? Right? Does anyone have any other business? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to.
Motion by Nancy,
I'll second.
second by Chris, all in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.